Hello, all of my crafty friends. Amber here, back for another video. This time, I'm going to talk about what we did in my April class this month. This month, we talked about framing your page. You can see here on this page that white that goes around is a frame for your main focal point or your main part of your page. And then this one is a double page, and it also has that mat around it. So I'm going to show you what I did to create these pages. And I actually have videos that will be going up shortly on how I created both of these pages. So look forward to that. So here is the first sketch that we had for class. Now, remember, these are just sketches I find off of Pinterest, and we use them for class. So this is the first sketch. It's just a single page layout. And here is the page that I did for it. Now, the main thing I wanted to talk about in my class was framing our pages, but when we do that, gutting out your back page, because it's so much wasted space that you can use. And you'll see that as I did that, I then took that paper and used it as some of my circles here in this cool little scallop thing that's on the page. So the whole point, I think, of, well, not the whole point, but a couple of points of gutting your paper is so you can use it more on your page, but it also takes away some of the bulk from your paper and saves you paper. Now, I don't always do this. Excuse me. Wow. I'm not usually worried about bulk in my scrapbooks. That's just not something I particularly worry about. I know a lot of people do. They don't like to use 3D foam in their books. They don't like to use embellishments that pop up off the page very much. But I don't worry about that because I just use what's cute or whatever. The only time I typically might do this is if I want to use it on the front of my page. But I normally just leave it because I'm trying to de-stash my room so I can buy more fun things. And when I cut this out, I'm creating more stash for my stash. But I wanted to use it on my page, and I only had one sheet of it, so I did gut my paper here. So this, again, is that single page layout. Now let's move on to the second layout, which is a double page layout, as you can see here. Super fun. Again, it is matted all the way around, but your panel, your inside panel, instead of being centered on the page like it is here, it is pushed up in the middle and it butts up in the middle. So I'm going to show you two ways that you can gut for this in my video that we did, or that I do, showing this page. So here is a fun page. Of course, it's work photos. This is Ned Ledoux coming to the radio station, doing a live interview with us and hanging out. He signs a few guitars. It was way fun. So this is my double page. You can see that my cream papers are butted in to the middle with that frame going all the way around the page. So the two ways that you can gut this is you can do your typical center, which you have here. And you'll notice on this one, I used some washi tape to hold down and to make sure that that was completely secure. But the other way you could do it is by making a C of your background paper, because you get a bigger piece cut out that you can then use on another project or on the same project. So those are the two different ways you can gut this. And in the video that I do of this page, I will go more into depth on how to do that gut. So this, again, is my second page from class. Class was lots of fun this week. The ladies made beautiful pages. And yeah, super fun. So that was the second page. So what we're going to do is go into me creating a page. I'm going to be using, I have some leftovers here of the Magical Voyage paper collection that's brand new from Echo Park. I actually just designed a whole workshop for a local scrapbook store here, Heartfelt. If you go to heartfeltpages.com, Next week, I believe they're releasing it in stores, and then soon thereafter, it will be released on their website if you want to see it. So I have my leftovers here, and this is a cruise, the first cruise I ever went on, and it was for work last year. But I wanted to showcase that you can use this collection for a cruise that's not a Disney cruise. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a page. I'm actually going to be using some inspiration from another page that I have here. So I have this page. I am going to use this as my inspiration, and I'm going to gut out a portion right here as opposed to a big square. Whenever you have a big panel on your page, you can always gut it. I didn't do it on this page per se, but you can always gut just so that you can use this back paper. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to speed up the rest of this video so that it doesn't make this video so long, but let's see what I can do here. Okay, let's get right into making this page. Right here, I'm just showing you the different colors of cardstock that come in the cardstock bundle that matches this A Magical Voyage. And I'm going to use one of them as my base page. I decided on this red because it's going to help pop the reds out of my photo. I already had this piece of white. I just trimmed an inch off, making it 11. And then I'm going to make it by 8 because I'm going to mat it. And I want to know exactly how big it is so my mat is good. So I'm going to gut part of this red paper that is going to be sitting behind that big white panel. Now, I'm doing that because I plan on using this piece to go on top of that white panel. Now, this takes me a second. Math, it's not working in my brain. I have not been awake that long, and it took me a second to figure that out, but I did figure it out. I did about an inch off the sides and an inch and a fourth on the top, and then cut a panel off. Now I'm going to back the white panel in this black. So I'm just cutting it 1/4 of an inch bigger than my white paper. So it ends up being 11 1/4 by 8 1/4. And I'm going to mat it. Now, oh, do you see that? Do you see what I just did? I ripped my paper. I wasn't being very careful. I contemplated on cutting that out and just getting another piece of paper and doing it over, but I was like, I don't want to do that again. It took me a minute to figure it out. So I just glued it back together, and you really can't tell. Like, I'm sitting here looking at the page. You still can't tell. I don't think anybody else is going to notice when they're looking at my album, so it is what it is. But I'm going to glue that white piece down, and look, you can't even see the hole. You have no idea that I gutted that paper. Now, I could have taken a step further and gutted the black paper that I matted my white paper on, but honestly, didn't even think about it. I am following that layout as inspiration that I already had made. It was sitting next to me, and I just thought, oh, that's a fun page that could be gutted. And so I used it as my inspiration, and I am just following along, gluing down these different pieces. I love this collection. I love all of the so-called Disney collections that Echo Park and Simple Stories puts out. I think they're so adorable. I love bright colors in my scrapbooking. And so when this kit came out, I've never been on a Disney cruise, but I knew I had to have it because it would be so fun for cruise photos in itself. So it's exactly why I bought it. Now, this is just going to be a bunch of pieces of paper layered together. Now, I didn't want to use up way too much of this polka dot because I love it, and I plan on doing another page out of this paper. And so I needed to save as much as possible. And so I just, again, gutted out some of that to save on paper, which you can do, especially when you're layering paper over and over and over. It's really easy to take out pieces and save paper that way. Now, I only will typically do that if I know I'm going to be using it, because I'm trying to use my stash up so I can buy more stuff. It's the whole key of this, right? Use up what we got, even though this is a new kit. And it's almost gone. So I didn't want to use this blue paper because I kind of wanted to use the ships, but the scrap that I had left over was going in the wrong direction, and so I couldn't technically use the ship side. So I'm just going to use the water. And yes, the water's going sideways, but you'll never know. Now, I am going to map my photo. There wasn't enough cardstock left over. It actually was going to use the piece that I cut out of the base for matting my photo, but then I ended up using it as a larger panel. So I had to cut into another piece of cardstock there, which is fine. I think it brings out the yellow in my shirt. This picture is from a cruise that we did for work. It was Dave and Deb's, or Out to Sea with D&D. Dave and Deb are our morning show at the radio station that I work at. And so we had a group of us. There was probably almost 70 of us in the group. And it was so much fun. We went on the Mexican Riviera cruise with Carnival last October. It was so much fun. I made so many new friends. And it was just a blast. So this is just one of those photos that they took of us as we were loading onto the ship. So I'm just gluing down all of my pieces here. I know I'm going to do a cluster, and I typically like building a cluster and starting a cluster I like to use circles. I like to use some kind of shape. And so I punched out a circle just so that I could start that. I am going through the ephemera to see if there's anything that is cruise related, but not necessarily a Disney cruise. And so I pulled out a couple of things. I actually end up not using either of them, but that's okay. They're fun to like kind of play with. And now here's my circle, kind of debating on where I want to start and build some clusters. This sticker says vacation memories. And I just thought that would be so perfect because it was a vacation, it's memories, and it goes so well with this photo. Okay, so here, you know how I said those are waves and they're going sideways? I don't know if it's the waves or what, or the fact that, I don't know. I could not seem to get that piece of paper straight to save my life. And it was bugging the crap out of me. So this is the best that I could do right there. And it's only slightly off, but that's okay. So I am going to pop up. I found this ship as well. I wanted to use the ship. I wasn't able to use the ship paper. So I'm going to use this cute ship right here. There's that other ship on there that would be really cute. I have more photos to scrapbook, and so it's going to come in handy. Now I'm going back through my ephemera here to see if there's something else I can use, because both of the ephemera pieces that I had picked out have ships on them. And I don't need two ships. One ship is fine. And I liked how big the sticker ship was, so I want to use that. Now I am good with this vacation memory, so I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to take some of the washi tape. I love using washi tape and putting it on top of my photos. Like the washi tape is what's holding my photo down. I love it. This is where I contemplate on that circle and decide, nope, it's not happening. We're just going to build our cluster without it. Now, I probably should have held that ship up before I put down the words, which those words say it's a beautiful world, which again works perfectly because we got to go see parts of the world that we'd never been to before. There are these little stars on the sticker sheet, and there were 2 of each of the blue, 2 of each of the red, and 2 of each of the black. And so I decided to use those around my clusters. My clusters, you will see, are going at a diagonal. Now, usually I like to stick to your triangle, right? You 3, and there's 3 points of a triangle. But on a single page layout, I feel like you can do a diagonal as well, and it looks just as good. So that's what I'm going for here. Now I pulled out the puffy stickers. I grabbed a couple of those. There's a cloud. There's a little sign that says sail away with me. And then I put another cloud up in the top, and then the little life preserver down there by the ship. And I think it turned out cute. Used the leftover enamel dots there. And I like, it needs something. Oh, it needs more squiggly lines. I squiggly lined the white paper, but the whole page just needed squiggly lines. So that's what I'm going to do to finish off this page. Of course, I'm going to flip it over and write down what book it goes in, what year it is, what month, so that I can stay organized. But that's going to do it for this page. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like to see more like it, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.